At dawn, on May the 14th, 1264, Simon de Montfort's rebel army appeared along the ridge of the hill, armed and ready for battle. They had climbed the northern slopes of the South Downs under cover of darkness in order to surprise King Henry, who was sleeping in the town below. The king and his men hurriedly armed themselves and after a brief council of war rode out to meet their enemies. Meanwhile, Simon de Montfort's troops took up their battle positions, below us here and over there where the Neville estate is today. And they waited. They had the advantage of attacking down the hill, but the king's army was far larger, with probably 3 times as many cavalry.
So many men.
So many swords.
I can see the king's standard.
Where?
Down there, over to the right. The red dragon come to spill our blood.
Quiet! Make peace with God, not your fellow men.
Simon de Montfort's troops were arranged into 3 frontline divisions, mirroring the king's forces who were arranging themselves at the bottom of the hill. But Simon kept a 4th reserve force, led by himself, waiting behind the battle lines, close to where we are here. From this position, he could see the whole of the battlefield spread out before him.
They're coming!
Wait!
The land is shifting and rising against
Wait!
us. The sun is blinding
God
me.
protect us!
Charge!
Prince Edward's troops attacked first, his fine cavalry riding up from their position in front of the castle. His knights smashed through the lines of ill-prepared foot soldiers from London, who fled in panic, some running down towards the River Ouse, while others headed across the South Downs the way they had come. And the prince and his cavalry chased after them, hacking down the terrified men as they ran.
Run! I can't see! Run! Lord, help me!
But Simon de Montfort held his nerve. He watched as his troops charged down into Henry's forces, the screams and cries of the battlefield filling his head.
My Lord Simon, your left flank, the division of Londoners, they've fled. Lord Edward has destroyed a quarter of your army, my lord.
Now Simon saw a glimmer of hope. He could see Henry and his cavalry chasing the Londoners out of sight, miles from the battlefield. This was the chance he needed. He charged his reserve forces down into the thick of the battle, beating the forces of Henry and his brother Richard back towards the town. The fighting was ferocious, with thousands of men killed or wounded, their bodies crushed beneath the feet of horses. Henry retreated with his men to the priory, where they barricaded the doors. His brother Richard was forced to hide from rebel soldiers in a windmill, which once stood close to St. Anne's Church.
Come out of there, Richard the trickster!
You can't hide from us!
Now Edward returned to find the battle lost. He skirted the town and joined his father in the priory. But royalists still held Lewes Castle on its high mound overlooking the town. And as Simon's troops tried to force its surrender, they shot flaming arrows from its ramparts down into de Montfort's troops. And these arrows set fire to the houses and shops of the town. Smoke and flames filling the streets as Lewes burned. Simon de Montfort was victorious. And as the great men negotiated a peace and agreed the terms of the Mise of Lewes, hundreds of bodies were being dragged from the battlefield. And the people of Lewes stood among the burnt-out debris of their town and mourned the dead.